Okay, so this is a porch time episode week, and the porch didn't really happen for me today. Things are absolutely crazy. Last week, we ended up going to Michigan, where my husband's family is, kind of for like an emergency sort of visit. His dad had an emergency surgery that was actually quite intense. So we did that. We got home on Wednesday night, and it's now Friday, and I'm home from work, but after work, we had to take Simon to the doctor because he's got stomach aches again. His nutrition is very poor because he's so picky. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so it's been just a little bit crazy this week, and I'm sure you can kind of relate to how it feels when like you haven't food prepped or meal planned or just even, I don't know, had any sort of planning involved in your week. At least I enter a week being all planned and kind of ready, and so when I'm not, I really feel it. So just kind of hanging out right now, waiting for Pete to get home and making myself some ticino, and I'm mixing up some of my gluten-free flour so that I can make some bread for grilled cheeses and pumpkin soup tonight. So speaking of food, we're gonna talk about fall food, but right now my water is yelling at me, so hang on. Look at this amazing construction kitchen. It is gonna be awesome when it's done though, guys. There's my apothecary. All of my herbs, they make me so happy. But we put new windows in. I guess I'm kind of giving you a tour now. And the windows are delightful. Yeah, sorry about like the mess, but I mean like, this is what we're doing right now. But you just wait, man. A year from now, I'm gonna show you my house and you're gonna just be like, oh my God. We did actually expose the chimney that goes like straight up through, which I love. This is gonna end up being our library room. That's right, we're gonna have a library. Hopefully I'll be able to start doing some of my videos from the library. I've got my awesome new little herbal tea mug. I got this with my sister at TJ Maxx when we went to Michigan. She does not live in Michigan, but she lives halfwaysies to Michigan. Well, actually a little bit more than that. So Simon and I stopped to stay with her halfway just to kind of like break up the trip. Pete had already gone out there before us, so that way I didn't really have to like drive at night and all that nonsense with Sci Guy by myself. Okay, so today I'm kind of filming all over around the house. As you can notice, it's just what had to happen this time. So we're going vlog style. Right now I'm in the bar room. It's kind of a cool room. It's become our living room, but it's gonna get ripped off in the spring. It's gonna be part of the new kitchen and part of the new living room, so it'll be nice. But this month I would say was my most productive month. I think I found a system of like organization and planning, just like structures to kind of keep myself moving. I've got my tutorial videos and my book of the month already scheduled and ready to go for October, which is like super awesome. And I am focusing on a couple of new products for my Teachers Pay Teacher store that I'm really excited about. I'm finishing up math standard cheat sheets, and I'm going to kind of like refresh my ELA ones that are in there. I get requests for the math ones all the time, so I'm glad that I'll be getting those in there. They're really great for differentiation. Once those are up in my TPT store, I think what I'm going to do is put together a kind of like differentiation how-to video that like sort of utilizes those just to sort of help teachers learn some quick and easy ways to meet their kids where they are, because right now we've got kids all over the place, and so yeah, so we need to be focusing on that. So today we're going to talk about food. I love food. I love to cook, love to bake, love to make up my own recipes. I often don't write down what I do, so it really makes people upset, because like I will create things and they're like, I want that recipe, and I'm just sorry that I don't have it for you. So today I don't want you to get mad at me, because I'm gonna share my favorite things that I make in the fall. And the reason that I make them in the fall isn't really because they utilize fall like ingredients, although they kind of do. And I'm all about eating seasonally because it's more nutritionally like good for you. They're like higher quality like vegetables and fruits when they're in season, but it's also cheaper. But really when it's this time of year, it's easier to make things like casseroles and soups and chilies and things that are like where you can like bulk it up. So I'm all about the batching. I used to be one of those people where I would meal prep, where I would like chop up everything ahead of time and all that. Problem with that is even though I love cooking, it took a lot of my Sunday, like most of my Sunday, and that was not fun for me, because Sunday I also needed to go to school for 6 hours and like do a bunch of planning and getting like ready for the kids. So my Sunday really ended up sucking. So it kind of occurred to me that really what I wanted was just to not have to make dinner as often. So now what I do is I create recipes that make just a bunch, and then I choose about like 2 or 3 a week, and then every other day or so I cook a dinner, and then we have leftovers. So, and then I'm only having to clean up the mess half that time too. Anywhoosies, what I want to share with you are some of my favorite batching recipes. So they're healthy and they're easy to like tailor to whatever your diet might be. So I've done like a million diets in my life. Yeah, that's the thing I do. So it's easy to make it vegan or make it gluten-free or whatever it is that you might need. I will say that batching dinners, making big dinners has just changed my life. I know that sounds so ridiculous, especially for someone who likes to cook, but the truth is I like to cook when I have time, and during the week I don't have time. You don't have time, right? So I'm just gonna do a giant ass dinner, and then we can have it again like 1 or 2 other nights this week. And even though tonight I have to make dinner and clean up dinner, my future self is super happy about the fact that later I'm not gonna have to. So I will be enjoying some nights where I get to come home from work and just can kind of do my thing and not have to worry about it. So let's talk about this. One of the first batchy dinners that I will recommend that you check out are basically anything spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash, you can make all kinds of different casseroles out of it. I actually, this time of year, because it is fall and we live in like where there's lots of farm markets and things like that, I will go and buy a bunch of them, and I will just batch roast all of them and then freeze them individually in bags. So then when I want to make one of these recipes, it's even just that much easier. Plus it's way cheaper right now to get them from the farm stand. So there's a bunch of different recipes where you can just roast a spaghetti squash and like scrape it all out and put it in, you know, a casserole dish. Generally we do a couple of different kinds. We'll do like a chicken one with like goat cheese and spinach and things like that. Or we'll do one that's very lasagna-y where I just like put red sauce over it and cheese. Before I go any further with my recipe talkings, I'm literally gonna just share with you the ideas of my favorite batching recipes and how I prepare them. I don't use recipes, but what I will do is I will link recipes that are like super similar to the ones that I'm talking about. So I literally went to Pinterest for you. So I know this will drive some people crazy if I don't give you like a recipe to follow, and that's totally cool. I just looked up some of the recipes that were close to some of the ones that I'm gonna tell you about. So again, okay, so the spaghetti squash bake, totally check it out. Even though there's sort of a pain in the butt to initially prepare, if you roast a bunch ahead of time and then just freeze them, then you can like bust them out whenever, and then you have these like giant casseroles that you can like, you know, eat throughout the week. Obviously this is the time of year for soup and chili. I love both of them so much. My husband says that soup is not a meal. He says that soup is not dinner. So when I do make soup, I have to add other things with it generally, which is why we're having grilled cheeses with the pumpkin soup tonight, but you know, it's okay. You can just make a giant pot of chili or soup. I found a pumpkin soup recipe for you actually that you can do in the crock pot, which is amazing when your dinner cooks itself while you're gone. Sheet pan dinners. Y'all know about sheet pan dinners? Probably by now you do, because they're like all over freaking Pinterest. But if you don't do them, you really need to. I do sheet pan dinners. I've been doing them for a few years. If you don't know what they are, they're giant pans. Like, I mean, like massive cookie sheets, and they have like the edge around them. And you put whatever you're gonna bake for dinner all on that same cookie sheet. So like you might have your chicken breasts on there with your chopped up roasted vegetables, and then you bake it all at one time. So I actually have 2 of those cookie sheets because I'm batching, and so I'll do 2 sheet pans. One is for dinner like tonight, and then the next one will also contribute to future dinners the rest of the week. So sheet pans are amazing. Our favorite fall one is chicken sausages, and I get those from Aldi, and they're really, really good. So we do like chicken sausages, and then I chop up red onions and apples, and we do sweet potatoes and some Brussels sprouts. So like just like some fallish like business olive on there. It's really very enjoyable. If you don't own yourself some sheet pans, I will link them for you. Okay, so my last recommendation for like making giant dinners is to make something with sweet potatoes. So baked sweet potatoes, and you can put any kind of stuff on them. I mean, you could also just do normal baked potatoes too. I generally kind of go to sweet potatoes first though, because I just feel like they're healthier, but do your thing. The way I love to do my sweet potatoes is a recipe that my father-in-law has created, and he calls them yamens. I don't know, but they are good. And here's how you make a yamen. You roast yourself a sweet potato. Actually, I would do more because you want more than just one. And then you slice up onions and peppers, kind of like you're gonna make fajitas, or like the way you would do peppers and onions, you know, like to go with Italian sausage, something like that. After the sweet potato has baked, you're gonna put the peppers and onions on top of the sweet potato, and you are going to add goat cheese, or you could do feta or another kind of cheese of your liking. But if you don't like goat cheese, we cannot be friends. So the yamens are delish, and obviously they're super easy to make. So I found a recipe where you can make a bunch of sweet potatoes in a crock pot, and I included that in the description so that you could kind of see how to do that, so that someday when you leave for work, you can just throw a bunch of sweet potatoes in the crock pot and then come home and they'll all be done, and then all you need to do are the peppers and onions. I mean, I'm sure there's like way more batchy dinners out there. Those are kind of my go-to though. Did you know that they say that like the average person uses the same 10 or 12 recipes or something? I'll admit, I'm pretty much like that, but they do change seasonally. So like, I don't generally batch our summer food. So like as soon as fall hits, I'm like, hell yeah, man, I am going to batch my dinners. And now Sarah Thomas does not have to cook every night. So I kind of think that's where we're gonna end today. I just wanna say I appreciate your flexibility with the lack of the porch. We'll still have some more time for porch time, and Pete and I usually hang out on the porch even like, I mean, into November. It just gets tricky this time of day because there's like people everywhere. So it would have just been too loud for me to do it out there. And like I said, after work, we just had too many things happening. So I'm just rolling with it. That's what we do. We roll. Yeah. So thank you for being flexible and being willing to join me in the bar today. If you are new here, I do apologize because I just never even said who I was yet, but I am Sarah Thomas and my channel is called Teaching Without a Book, and I talk about all things teacher life and teacher tips and things that focus on making your classroom more targeted, engaging, and effective so that your students will learn and grow and be amazing. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button so other teachers can find it. And also you should subscribe to my channel because there's a lot of good stuff that I'm going to teach you. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and I will see you for our Halloween video. This. Do you see this? This makes me not happy. Sweet, I'm recording a video. What was I saying?